Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a solo playthrough of Puzzle Strike 2, and disclaimer that I got a review copy of this one. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our weekly podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So Puzzle Strike 2 is a 1 to 4 player competitive game that also has a solo co-op mode that plays 1 to 4 players. And that's what I'll be showing you today. And this is an interesting game because it's had a long history, and I've kind of been there for a lot of it, because this game is incredibly heavily inspired by a video game that I used to play, which was, I'm trying to remember the exact name. I think it's Puzzle Fighters 2 Turbo Edition, because it was a puzzle game a la Dr. Mario or Tetris, but one of the ones where like things are dropping from the top and you're trying to form groups and then send them at an opponent. That was like a big thing of the game, and it was themed after Street Fighter 2, back when that had like a billion versions, like Turbo and all that stuff. But anyway, then he had Puzzle Strike, which came after Dominion and was a successful, not Dominion clone, it did do its own stuff, but it had a lot in common with Dominion. But it was another deck builder, and you were like pulling chips from a bag, so I guess it was a bag builder kind of. And that game had some pretty egregious balance issues at first, so they had like a second edition and a third edition, and I think maybe like a 3.5 edition, and I played most of them. I definitely played like the last version, and I loved that game. It was a great take on competitive deck building. But this one is a new version of Puzzle Strike, kind of like I covered Yomi 2 recently, although this one came earlier, like a year or two ago. And a lot of the stuff is similar, but a lot is different. So the core idea is you're going to start with a deck of 10 cards. You pick a character and get their 3 unique cards. Here I'm using Valerie, who's this painter character. Everyone gets 7 basic cards as well. So you shuffle those together into your initial 10-card deck. And then each turn you're going to buy one of the 5 cards in the offer and put in your discard pile to add to your deck. But the further right the card you buy is, the more gems you're going to get in your incoming pile. And here's what that is. And this much more closely aligns with the original Puzzle Fighter video game than the first Puzzle Strike ever did. Because what happens is you're going to have these incoming gems, and they drop either at the end of your turn or when you want to make them drop. And then they're going to actually drop gems in 4 different colors into these little spots. And these become things that you can move around with certain powers, and that you can crash, which means blow up and send at the other player. And you're just kind of sending gems back and forth at each other using your cards. And whenever one of you ends your turn with gems above the 10 spot, above this red line right here with 11 or more gems, you lose the game. So you're trying to make sure that you don't have too many gems. But when you have more gems, it gives you more things to attack with. And also when you have more gems, you get bonuses to your hand draw, so you can do more stuff on your turn. Also, as you crash gems, they go over here and fill these super move meters to let you fire off those. So lots of cool interplay here. The boss's side is a lot more simple. They're going to have a certain number of cards. I'm just using wound cards to start. I'm playing at the slightly harder mode. So normal difficulty starts with 1 card. I haven't really lost that. It's pretty easy. But you can go to 2 and then 3 and then 4. We're going to try 2 out because they can get pretty tough if they get lucky. And they don't have that actual little gem column thing. They're just tracking the number of gems that you've hit at them, and they get to clear away some and send some at you. But just like you, if they ever end a turn with 11 or more left, then you immediately win. You can also play co-op, where they're taking damage from everybody, but also sending gems out at everybody. And they get to block gems based on the number of players and attack based on the number of players, so it balances out pretty well. And if one player goes out, everyone else gets 1 more turn to try to defeat the dragon. You can all compare your scores and stuff. So yeah, that's how co-op works. But here we're just going to play solo, and the dragon starts with nothing. And I'm just going to jump in and show you how turns work. There are 10 characters in the base game. And then if you get the expansion, there's another 10, so 20 total. There's also 2 different market cards in the base game, so everything I'm playing with is just one of the 2 market decks. But then if you get the expansion, there are 4 more. So you, triple the number of markets you can play with and double the number of characters you can play with. Pretty cool. Also, just a note, and I'm going to probably do a review of this one and maybe mention the overproducedness. Like the gems are really big and chunky, and they're in these nice little plastic holders. You've got this scepter that isn't used in solo co-op, but in the competitive game, it's a lot like King of Tokyo. Whoever has it gets bonuses, but they're also a big target. And look, it even turns on. Yay, magical. Did the game need to have this? No, but it's certainly distinctive. Anyway, let's jump in. Okay, so we're going into the first round. I start, and here's how a turn goes. First, you ante 2 gems from bank slot 5, plus ante-ups. As you go through the deck, there are these ante-up cards seeded in, and they're going to make everybody kind of accelerate in the bad stuff and good stuff. But they mention in bank slot 5, you're going to ante, and I look at the color of this card, which is purple. You can also see the 2 star-colored purple gems there. And that's purple, pink, pink, blue. So I take these 2 purples and I drop them straight down into my little gem track here. These are different than the incoming gems. Those I have to drop by the end of the turn, but I can drop kind of whenever I want within my actions. Okay, next I get 3 action tokens. You usually get 3, but once the first ante-up comes out, you start getting 4, and after the second ante-up, you start getting 5. Okay, now I'm going to spend these 3 actions, or as many as I want. Each card shows me how many actions it costs. So all of these are starter cards. I didn't get any of Valerie's special cards. I got a swap. This lets you swap twice, which lets you switch the positions of 2 adjacent gems. I got a block, which blocks for incoming gems. That means the ones that haven't actually materialized into my column yet, I can just get rid of them entirely. And importantly, usually gems are just being sent back and forth between the 2 players. Blocking kind of changes that entire calculus by actually removing gems out of the game. Whereas the antes every turn kind of add gems into the collective supply for everybody. And then finally, I've got crash gems, probably the most important thing in the game. For 2 actions, you can crash the topmost color of gems in your column, as well as every gem in a contiguous order of that color. So like if I had, 5 purples, I would attack with all of them and they would all go away. But if I had like a single pink above the purples, I would only crash that 1 pink. Now, additionally, at any time before or after doing an action, I can drop as many gems as I possibly can. I'm actually going to do that first here. So I'm dropping 2 gems. And just like the ante determines color, so do the markets for your drop pattern order. So you really want to kind of be doing stuff with the market and trying to get the colors in a good order. So I'm going to follow it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if I had more than 5 gems to drop, I'd go through it again. So here I'm going to drop a purple gem and then a pink gem for the 2. And you might notice why I wanted to do that, because now I've got a lovely set of 3 purples in a row to crash at some point. But I don't want that pink blocking things up, I think. So I'm going to use 2 of my actions to play one of my 2 crash gem cards and crash the pink at the enemy. Now, when you crash a single gem, it just goes over here to the super move and you send 1 gem to your opponent. Not really much happening. But anytime you crash a group of 2 or more gems, if the topmost one is next to one of these bonuses, then you crash that many extra gems for free. So if, for example, right now I crash these 3 purples, because they're all together, because the topmost one is next to +1 bonus, I would actually crash 4 gems at the boss. But I'm saving that for later, I think. And I also don't have enough energy to do it again. But yeah, so the boss gets a single gem. He'll just get rid of that in a second, but I'm just trying to set up for big stuff later. I do have 1 action left, but not much to do with it. I don't want to block anything. There's nothing to swap because they're all purple, and I don't have enough to crash again. So whenever you finish your turn, you buy a bank card, and then you discard the rest of your hand. Now, what do I want to buy? Let's look at these. So I'm going to add gems to my incoming pile. Not like actual gems yet, but just the tokens that'll become gems if I buy these. So Monkey Step costs 0 actions, pretty great. Gives you 5 of those swap actions, but it forces you to discard 2 other cards from your hand, which can hamper you a little bit. Although not too much for Valerie. She tends to have a decent card draw and stuff. Roundhouse is only 1 action to do a crash. Usually it costs at least 2, but you have to discard a pink card to do it. And for her special cards, sorry, just looking at the cards I'm about to draw, she has a green, a pink, and a purple, so she's not specifically heavy in pink. Deflect for 1, it gets rid of 7 gems coming at you, which is crazy. Also lets me do a top action. What that means is I pick any bank card and put it on top of my deck and without paying the gem cost for it. And I would get 1 swap. Brass Knuckles is great. It's a 1 and it lets you crash, but it's a crash that happens immediately after you do another crash. So it kind of combos off of an initial crash. And then Reckless Charge gives you 3 actions, but it puts these wound cards in your discard that just gum things up. Now here I'm actually going to get Deflect. Because specifically, not necessarily because I won it, but because it's going to get 2 pinks next to each other. And that's going to help the boss out. They do more stuff because there's cards in a row. Oh, and we got another purple. Interesting. So yeah, we have a lot of purple and pink right now, which is generally good for the boss, but also good for me. But anyway, because I bought the 3rd card before they slid, because whenever you get a card, they immediately adjust, I'm going to get a 1 to my incoming. And now I discard my hand, as I already did, and I'm going to draw. I draw 5 cards plus my height bonus. So I mentioned it's actually good for you to keep some gems and not just clear them all away. So here, because I have a gem next to +1, I'm going to draw 6 cards. So I got to shuffle. And then in a competitive game, there would be this whole command decision. Oh, good, I got another crash gem. There would be this command decision thing with the person who has the scepter, but the dragon in this one just always keeps it, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, now speaking of the dragon, we do their turn. This is all very simple. First, they get 2 gems from the ante, so they're up to 3. They never, again, track any colors. They just keep track of how many they have. Then they get a free block. It's equal to the number of power they have, which is how many cards they have. So again, in this difficulty, I'm starting with 2. The hardest you could do would be to start with 4, which is insane. You would definitely lose. So here they're blocking 2 times the number of players. So they're going to block 2 of their gems and only have 1 left. Then they send, not from here, but just like from the supply, they send gems at me equal to their power 2. Plus the longest set of cards of 1 color. So yes, it benefits me, but it also benefits them. So here they're sending me 2 for their power, plus 2 pinks or 2 purples in a row. So that's going to be 4. And then finally, they do something random based on the rightmost card. In this case, it was a purple, which means they crash equal to their power. So they remove up to their power of gems from their incoming, which is just 1. So they're only sending 1 at me and send it over to me. But if they'd had 2 gems, they would have sent 2 of them over. If they get a blue, they block. If they get a pink, they also crash, although it's based on the cards in the bank. And if they get a green, they make me discard random cards. And then finally, they always buy the leftmost card. It becomes another card in their power. So they're going to block 3 next turn. They're going to attack me for 3 plus the bonus. They're going to crash 3 if they get a purple. You get the idea. And everything slides down. Let's see what my ante's going to be. If it was purple, that'd be amazing. Nope, it's blue. All right, so I'm getting 2 blue. And then I've got 6 incoming. So what would 6 get me if I don't block it all? 2 pink, 2 purple, blue, pink. God, that really sucks. But I do have some options here and things I can do. So look, I've got a crash gem. I've got 3 colors, one of Valerie's 3 unique cards. For 1 energy, or 1 action, no, sorry, she should have 3. For 1 action, she can add a purple gem to any position, then do the same with a pink gem, then do the same with a green gem. So I can just boost up some of my places to attack better with them. I like that. I did get a swap. Skip ahead. This lets me draw 2 cards. That's a card everybody has. Chromatic Orb, another unique one. It says I get to crash if my top gem is different than my next gem and then draw a card. So it's always going to be a weak crash. It's always only going to be 1, but it will clear up things for a better attack. And then finally, Burst of Speed. Might as well just play that now because it literally just gets me an action point. By the way, like a lot of deck builders, the cards you played are here. So if I somehow drew enough cards to reshuffle my discard pile, the played cards would not go in yet. So I'm thinking maybe I drop, then do Chromatic Orb to get rid of like one of those final things, or skip first, then do Chromatic Orb, and then do Crash Gem, or like 3 colors, Chromatic Orb, Crash Gem. Well, let's try the drop and see what happens. So we're doing 6. Oh man. So it's 2 pinks, then 2 purples, then a blue, and then a pink. So I am in death territory. If I didn't crash anything right now, I would lose the game. All right, so I don't have any good way to get that blue. Like the blue is the main problem here. Well, I guess the pink by itself is a problem too. Yeah, it definitely is not great. I might die here. This is a game, by the way, where you can just die immediately if things don't go well. I think the best I can maybe do is a Chromatic Orb for 1. That'll break this pink, which does get me 2 away from the Energized Super. Whenever you get 4 gems of the same color in here, they all clear away, although if you had extra from breaking a bunch, they fill in again. And then you get the bonus. For Energize, I would get 2 more energy and 2 card draw, which is pretty amazing. Chromatic Orb does let me draw another Crash Gem. That's actually not great, because that's all of them. All right, let's see, then I think I'll play Swap to swap twice, and then Crash to finish up. The swap will get my blue down here, and then the crash will get rid of both of these. That's 2 plus 3, so 5 at the boss, although they're just going to get rid of most of it in a second. But at least then I'm like closer to the blues being together, something. All right, and then, let's see. So they're going to get a pink. I could leave the purples together because they're going to benefit from them either way. Brass Knuckles requires me to play another crash card. Roundhouse requires me to discard a pink. I feel like I have extra pinks. Maybe I'll get the Roundhouse this turn for no extra gems because I don't want them. And this time I'm drawing 7 cards because of the +2 bonus. All right, I got a lot of blocking, so if he attacks me a bunch, I have a way to get rid of it. Oh, I didn't see what his color is going to be. It's going to be another pink. Okay, so he antes 2 more. Then he blocks equal to his power. Then he sends, power plus the biggest group. So he sends 5 at me. But I can block those if I need to. I can block them. And then because he got a pink card, he is crashing X, where X is the highest cost of a card in the bank. So there is like a reason to pay attention. He also, when he gets a blue as the 5th card, blocks equal to the highest block value in the bank. So like leaving this deflect is actually kind of dangerous for me. But yeah, so he is crashing 2 from the kidney shot. So he's going at 2. He did keep some gems, not very many. But I'm at 7 incoming. Lovely. Then he buys this. And, we are at anteing up. Oh, it's a pink card, though. That's good for me. But we're at ante up, which means now for the rest of the game, I'm going to get 4 actions a turn instead of 3. I'm going to get 3 gems anteed instead of 2. But the nasty one is the boss is going to get to resolve the 5th and 4th card instead of just the 5th one, which means, that deflect is really a problem. I'll probably just have to get rid of that. But yeah, this part is pretty nice. Look, I'm getting 3 pink gems. So if I can just move that blue down, I'll be in a beautiful spot. Yes, I've got 7 incoming gems, but I could just block them completely or just tank it after I attack. I have a way to smooth that down. I have some ways to crash. Well, actually, crashing is the biggest problem. I didn't get any of my crash gems. So I got Chromatic Orb to crash a single thing. Meh. But I do have Roundhouse. Okay. So let's do swap for 1 to swap this bad boy down and set myself up for my big attack. Then for 1, I'll play Roundhouse, which forces me to discard Burst of Speed, which sucks because that would have just been a free action. But I get to do a crash of fairly epic proportions. This is a 5 + 4, 9. And I'm going to energize and immediately be almost fully set up to energize again. So if I can keep hitting him, I might be able to kill him. Well, we'll see what happens. I get 2 actions back. And I get to draw 2, neither of which is a crash gem. I do have a way to draw more. I just don't know if I want to. Now, what would the color look like if I dropped right now? 7. So it'd be pink, purple, purple, blue. The blue is definitely the odd one out there. Pink, and then pink again, and then purple. Yeah, so I guess it would get to there. So I would have a few pinks in a row. That seems like a bad idea. I think I might just want to block. Well, let's see, though. I should be able to crash 2. So I'm going to use Skip Ahead for one of my 4 to draw 2 more. There we go. And 3 colors. But no, I want to block, right? Maybe do I not? Because if I just blast them with a ton of stuff, I'll get to draw a bunch of cards if I, No, I'm going to be smart. So I'm going to crash again for 5 more. But let's see if we can kill him, or at least get him close to death. So that is, there we go. So 3 + 2, 5. Oh, wait, I did this totally wrong, didn't I? Yeah, I'm sorry. Kidney Shot was supposed to move down to here. They were supposed to take Brass Knuckles, the leftmost card, when they bought, which does make my drop pattern better, huh? Yes, you know what? Actually, with that being the case, I'm just going to do a basic block for 4 gems, and then I'll drop my 3, because you have to do that at the end of a turn, which will be 2 purple, nothing wrong with that, and then a blue to get me to 7 cards in hand for my 4 actions. By the way, the super blue gives your opponent a blue, then a pink, then a green, which is amazing against a player. Against the bot, they just get 3 more gems, so it's good, but not nearly as good because this would clearly mess up all their combos. And the blue lets you pick a color and destroy all gems of that color in your gem pile, which is awesome after you've dropped a bunch and they're all kind of random. All right, so we end there. We're going to get to buy something and get 7 cards in our hand. And I don't really want the deflect, but if I don't get it and they flip a blue card for the ante, they'll get to block 7 of the gems coming at them, although that is a lower chance. I could get the Kidney Shot instead because it's, first of all, a great card. Deep Crash means you get to go down as far as you want to start the crash, so I could do my big set of 5 purples at the bottom. And it's a pink card to combo with my other one. And it's a 2 because they're going to activate a pink, which, remember, crashes as many as the highest action cost of any card in the back. So yeah, I'm going to get this and add 2 gems to my incoming, and just hope they don't flip a blue in a second. Well, here we go. This is the luck of the draw. It's a purple. Totally fine. They're going to crash some at me, but they might still die, or if they don't, they'll be close. And then if I can crash them huge again, I might be okay. All right, not bad. I got a ton of crashing and some blocking if everything goes wrong. Okay, coming around to them. They ante 3, because remember the ante went up, but then they block power, so 4 just goes away. That's not too bad. Okay, then they send at us power plus the longest run, which is 2, so they're sending 4 plus 2 is 6. So I've got 8 incoming, but they might die. They might die. So first they're resolving a purple, which crashes power at me. So, oh, no, they're not going to die. Okay, they send 4 more at me. Oh, Lord. Then because the ante has gone up, they also do the next card, the 4th position card, the pink one, which crashes equal to the highest action cards, which is only 1. So they are at 1. Sorry, they are at 10, which means they are as close to death as they possibly could be. They take this purple card, by the way. Okay, meanwhile, I've got 13 incoming. By the way, if you choose to drop during your turn, you fill in as much as you can, and then the remaining gems stay as incoming gems that you'll have to drop again later. So like here, I've only got 8 spots, so there'd be 5 gems left. All right, but for the ante, a green card came up, which we have not really seen almost any of yet. Okay, there we go. But they are 3, so I mean, I can hit decently hard. Actually, it'd be 6 going at them. And just to show you the green card, these are pretty cool. These are called creatures. They go in that little creature slot you might have seen on the player board, and they give you a bonus each turn. And they get destroyed whenever, in a competitive game, a size and color of gem attack is crashed at you equal to this. So here, a 2 or bigger set of greens. For the boss, whenever they activate a card of that color, it gets rid of your creatures, so it can still be modeled. By the way, the green for the boss causes me to discard 2 random cards. So that's a lovely one for them to activate as their second activation with the ante. Because if they're going to die, it won't actually get rid of any cards. It is literally the only color that does not crash or block anything extra. So I love that jittery squirrel. Stay right there. Like maybe I'll buy the deflect. Hopefully we can kill this guy this turn. Let's see. So our dropping is terrible right now. Purple, blue, pink, purple, green. Like nothing is in order. It's all bad. Now I could block twice to get it down to 5 incoming gems. And then if I crash my 3 greens on top and deep crash my 5 purples at the bottom, that would leave me in safe territory. That would be, oh no, wait, that's too many actions, isn't it? No, not if I use Burst of Speed, because I don't have to use Roundhouse. So I could do, oh, by the way, this is ethereal. If I don't play it or like discard it with Roundhouse, then I will trash it out of my deck. Yeah, I mean, will that be enough to kill the guy? I don't really know. But I think it's the best shot I've got. All right, so we're going to do Crash Gem for 2 of our 4 actions. And crash the 3 greens we anteed. That's doing 6 to them because of the bonus. Gets them to 16. Pretty good, pretty good. Now we're going to do Kidney Shot for 2 more actions. Skip over the blue because it's deep. And do 5 plus 1, 6, because you measure from where the top of the actual crashing part is. This one just drops down. So that was 6. But then, because we filled this and have, 3 left over. There we go. We're actually doing 6 plus these 3, 9. 25, baby. That's not bad at all. If they can survive this, then good on them. They deserve to win. Now, I've still got 13 gems coming at me, which would kill me. But let's use Burst of Speed to get an action and then play... Actually, I don't want to play Deflect because I want them to have that green card to activate. So taking another card from the market could mess me up. So I'm going to do a basic block and negate 4 of the 13, which will leave me with 9, which does not kill me when I drop them. Now, it is the ugliest drop ever. Purple, blue, pink, purple, green, and then that again. I mean, yeah, if they somehow survive, I think I am... 100%. Purple. There we go. I think I'm 100% dead, but maybe they won't. They got a lot of gems coming at them. And yeah, I'm definitely buying this for free. Not because I really want to block it, but because I don't want them to have a 7 block in their pile in case they get a blue as their new flip. And I'm drawing back to 8 cards because of my +3 bonus, the max I can get. Oh, man, look at this card draw. If they don't die, I think I'm going to because I don't have much block to survive. But they got a lot to defend against. I'm feeling pretty good. Now, let's see what their next card is. It's a blue, but only a 3, which is actually the minimum they would block with a blue. So that's good. That's good. So let's run through this. I think they're dead. So first they ante 3 more gems. That certainly helps the cause. Then they block equal to their power, which is 5. So bye-bye. Then they send gems equal to 5 plus the longest run of numbers, which is purple, pink, purple, green, blue, friggin' nothing. So they just send 5. And then they resolve a blue action, which blocks the highest block value on a card showing in the bank, which is just 3 or 3 minimum. So boop. And then, because it's green, they discard 2 random cards from my hand, leaving them, you might notice, with a little bit too much. Little bit too much. Boom! Kill the dragon. Yeah, maybe I should have gone to level 3. It does depend on character, though, and luck sometimes. Like, I find the more aggressive and quick drawing and quick attacking characters like Valerie and Jaina to do better, whereas, like, more defensive characters can kind of struggle to get enough explosive damage on the guy. And just a note, after they bought this turn, it would have triggered the final ante-up, which means I would have 5 actions a turn, and I would be anteing 4 of the rightmost color, a green in this case, at the top of my pile. That'd be fun. And for the boss, they would then resolve 1, 2, 3 cards, which, yeah, you can imagine can be quite a bit nastier. But there you go, everybody. That was a Puzzle Strike 2 play. You can see it's pretty quick. And again, I could have started the boss with 3 or even 4 power, which meant they would have been sending that much more at me, so I definitely wouldn't have survived those a couple of rounds that I was barely there, and they'd be blocking more for free. Yeah, this makes it kind of naturally a lot tougher. And again, you can play this co-op. You're just all attacking the boss at the same time, but they're blocking multiplicatively based on player count. They're crashing at you with everything, so yeah, it still works pretty well. And I will do a review of this one in a while. I just want to play it some more at 3 and 4 player. We played it a bunch 2 player and solo and co-op 2 player, but not at those higher player counts. All right, thanks for watching, everybody, and a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Steve Wren, Miles, KCW, Andrew R., and Chris C. We'll see you at the next stop.